Hi viewers, welcome to our channel. In this video, I shall explain the working and installation of fully automatic water level controller for Star Delta oil immersed pump motor starter. Firstly, I shall explain the features of this Star Delta starter. Most induction pump motors are started directly online, but the large pump motors are not started directly online due to large starting torque current surges that can cause disturbance in voltage supply line because the starting torque current of such motors is approximately 6 to 8 times the motor's full load current. Starting motors directly online method is only suitable for motors up to 7 kilowatt load. To control starting torque current load, induction motors are started using Star Delta starters like this. Star Delta is a two-stage starting method. There are 3 contactors in this Star Delta starter. And first contactor is a star contactor that will start the motor with reduced voltage. At this stage, two-phase supply is given to 2 coils of the motor connected in series. With this, motor will start with less torque current and will slowly achieve approximately 60% rotations. At stage 2, after motor reaches 60% speed in 7 to 8 seconds, the option to reconfigure the motor to delta configuration is taken, and in this, motor winding coils with delta method, full voltage, that is two-phase, applies to each coil of the motor and motor takes full running speed. Now, accelerating rotation from 60% to 100% will require less starting torque current as compared to starting the motor from 0 to 100%. Resultantly, there will be less chances of disturbance in the voltage supply line. So, this is the basic method to control heavy current load by giving supply to the motor in 2 steps. This starter has 3 buttons. First one is the start button, refers to a star configuration, and second one is the run button, and this will be a delta configuration. Third one is the red button for stopping the motor. The starter also has an option for overload thermal relay, which is designed to provide protection against overload and any short circuit between motor and the starter. This oil-immersed Star Delta starter, the oil-immersed is that it has contactors dipped into oil. I'll show you practically also. This is the oil pan, and we need to fill the oil somewhere around this level and put it back, and all these 3 contactors are dipped into this oil. Life of these contactors will be longer as compared to the contactors which are not dipped into oil. Now coming to the water level controller for this Star Delta starter. This controller is packed in a corrugated packing box. This is the corrugated packing box, and inside of this box, one box having accessories in it. This is the clamp where we can fix the switch. I'll explain the working of the switch later in the video. One pair of green wires for connecting start button connection with the controller, and there is one switch for automatic and manual function options. The wires are connected, which can be connected according to the diagrams. There is another box having water level sensor switch. This is the concealed switch. Will not pass any electricity into water for sensing levels. This box will float along with the levels of water up and down and give commands to the controller for switch on and off. This Sensor switch has specially been designed to work with this controller only and will not work by connecting it directly with the 220 volt supply. This is the counterweight, adjustable. You can adjust it according to the size of the tank and according to the requirement for switching on and off. This sensor switch has around 1.5 to 2 meters wire along with this. There is operator's manual also available in the box. I'll explain the details of this manual later in the video. Few nylon ties will be required for connecting the wires, tying up the wires. One drill template. The marks are given. You can put the marks while putting it on the wall in order to put the holes according to the size of the cabinet and mount the controller on the wall easily. There is one installation guide for installing tank sensors into water tanks, different sizes, so it will be very helpful for installing sensor switches in tanks. And finally, the controller is also packed separately in packing box. There are few wall plugs and screws for mounting the controller on wall. This is the controller. The cabinet is made of ABS material and power supply lead for the controller. This panel, one on-off switch, one instant motor switch on button, push to on button, and two LED light indicators, one standby and second one for motor activation. There are four connectors at the bottom of this cabinet. First two wire connector is for start button connections with the starter. Green wires according to the colors pasted above this connector. And second 3-wire connector is for float switch sensor wire connections. Colors of wires can be connected according to the colors pasted above this connector. And third 2-wire connector is the yellow wire connector for delta connections of this starter. And fourth red wire 2-wire connector is for switch off button of the starter. The back side of cabinet, 2 holes at the bottom and 1 at the center, the top of the cabinet for fixing it on the wall. These are the connections. Green wire is to be connected along with the other 2 wires. And from this run button, delta connection, 1 wire is to be removed. This red wire has been removed. And in place of that, yellow wire coming from the controller will be connected with this point. And the red wire removed from here will be connected with the other yellow wire coming from the controller. And similarly, this red wire is connected from the controller and the black wire which is removed from this point will be connected with the other wire coming from the controller. So this is a very simple connection. And this is the switch available for taking the option for using the starter manually as well as the automatic function. Firstly, I will explain the manual working of this starter. I'll give supply to the starter, press the start button. The first start button will take around 6 to 8 seconds for reaching its target speed of around 60%. And after 8 seconds, when motor reaches 60% of rotation with the reduced voltage, we need to press the delta configuration in order to give full voltage supply to the pump motor to achieve its 100% rotation. Now the motor is running with 100% rotation, and the third button is the red button. Press the red button, it will cut off the supply to the pump motor. This is the manual function. Now coming to the automatic function. Firstly, we need the switch positioned in automatic side and now turn on the water level controller. This light comes on. It shows that the controller is ready to work according to the levels of water. Whatever we set inside of the tank for sensor switch it will activate the pump motor. After switching on the controller, when water is going down and reaching a point where we set the sensor switch for switch on, it will switch on the pump motor. And it will remain in start configuration for 7 to 8 seconds, and automatically after 8 seconds the controller will give command to the delta configuration and the starter will switch to delta mode. And when water is fully filled up in the tank, sensor goes up and it will switch off the supply to the starter. This is the automatic function, and with the timer, because the controller is so designed that it will give command to the start configuration only for 2 seconds, and thereafter around say 7 to 8 seconds the controller will give second command to the delta configuration in order to put the full voltage to the motor to achieve its full speed, 100% speed. Switch on the star mode, and after 7 to 8 seconds it will automatically put to delta configuration, and when water is fully filled up it will switch off the supply to the pump. This controller also has an option for instant motor switch on. This will be used even if the water level in the tank is not reaching a point where we set the sensor switch for switch on. But in this case there is only one condition. In case there is more than 50 or 55% water inside the tank, this controller will not give switch on command to the starter. Suppose it has 90% water, when I turn it on, it will not turn on the starter. And if the water is somewhere around 50% and we use this option for starting the motor instantly, it will start the motor instantly. The process will remain the same, starting, and after 8 seconds it will switch to delta configuration in order to give full voltage to the motor to achieve its 100% rotation. But the switch on function will remain the same. When water is fully filled up, it will switch off the supply to the pump motor. This is the complete function of this water level controller. Now coming to the option for manual and automatic, if you wish to use the starter manually, all you have to do is to turn on the controller and switch to the manual function of this switch. In this case, the starter will start functioning manually as usual. You don't have to change any wiring between the starter and the controller in order to start the starter manually. Now press the delta and then switch off. And again automatic function, turn on, this will start the motor. The start motor is functioning, and after 7 to 8 seconds the delta contactor will be activated, and water is filled up, it will go off automatically. This is the operator's manual. Complete functions have been explained. This is the installation guide, how one can install the sensor and connect the start and delta connections and switch off connections. Very simple, very simple. And it's a larger version. One can easily see the switch connection along with the starter connection. Few conditions and technical specifications have also been given, and some precautions that are to be taken while installing this gadget. And we recommend that it should be installed by a trained electrician because 3 phases are involved. So guys, this is my demonstration and installation of fully automatic water level controller for star delta starter for pump motors. If you like the video, please click the like button and also subscribe and share this video. If you wish to buy this gadget, Please find the link for online purchase available in the description box of this video. So please stay in touch for my next video. Till then, bye bye.